Miss J,
Yes,
how are you, darling?
I'm good and you.
I'm great. Oh, you giving me an outfit today? Oh, it's an interesting choice of wardrobe. You are so shady, and I love it. You are so shady. I love it. I'm in a sweatshirt,
Oh,
and this one is
oh,
wearing. Let's just examine the wardrobe first, shall we? Anna Wintour and Andre Leon Talley, printed on a fabulous piece of
oh,
what is fabric is that? I can't quite see through Instagram Live.
it's just a cotton t-shirt. It's just my friend's
Hmm.
cotton t-shirt. It's just my cotton t-shirt. It's just a t-shirt. I just thought I'd wear it.
Interesting
Oh my God.
choice. I think we
Woo,
all know what
child.
that is referring to. Yes, Mr. Andre Leon Talley with his fabulous new memoir coming out this September.
Baby
Uh,
chiffon trenches, baby. We all
the
can't wait to get it.
chiffon. Oh, wait, when I tell you I can't wait to get this book, I had to write Andre and just give him a little note just to tell him I am dying to read. Jay, have we not had like the best moments with Andre, especially on Top Model? We'll save them for those cycles,
Baby,
but we
I
got
cannot
stories with
wait.
Andre. Oh my
The
God.
stories with Andre and Tally. Baby, I think when I have that one story from Greece is going to be the end all and be
You
all.
know what? Wait, I know exactly what you're talking about, and we're gonna save that for the Grease cycle. But when I tell you guys,
Oh,
we have stories with Andre. Andre is just supremely talented, educated, knows fashion history. I mean, he is really the ultimate. Yeah, exactly. But we have a story from Greece. We have a story from Greece.
Rakatoon! 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 Swahili!
Actually, we got stories from Morocco too with Andre. That's how I ended up with like 8 caftans downstairs in my closet, but that's another story. All Andre's fault, by the way. Well, we should first dive in this week. I know a lot of you guys have been asking questions. A couple of things. Number one, last week's live about Cycle 2 and the previous week's is on my Facebook right now, which is at J Manuel Official. Jay and I are going to start a YouTube channel to put all of these together. But you can go, if you missed the last 2 weeks, you can go to my Facebook right now. They're up there, so enjoy them. So that's it. But this week is going to be messy. Messy, messy, messy. And we got to start off with the messiest of them all, Mr. Nigel Barker, because he is being salty. Uh, Look at Miss J. Okay, so first of all, we are trying to answer all your questions. I got questions on my iPad. Thank you to those who sent questions in advance. We got them here. We're going to try and get through all of them. And we're trying to look down below, but it's hard to look at everything at once. But Mr. Nigel Barker is saying we're not answering questions. We're not seeing him right down there. Well, this is what I have to say. First of all, Nigel, we're trying to do our thing here. Can you imagine if Miss J and I trolled your podcast, Shaken and Stirred, and then hijacked your interviews? That wouldn't be nice now, would it be, Nigel? I don't think
Now,
so.
Nigel, here's my answer.
Yeah, you heard it. You saw it with Miss J right here, which is nice. His screen did not freeze. She's like, this is my
Okay.
answer. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Nigel's got his answer. We can move on. All right, so there's just so much to talk about. First of all, this was the first season we did a casting episode. Remember, Miss J? So Cycle 3 was the first time we actually shot a whole episode dedicated to casting. It was a format change. The show had now really taken off by Cycle 3. But when you watch it, and I had not watched this in years, I decided to put it on the other night. The tablecloth? What was with the tablecloth? Who was art department? Them hideous flowers? I mean, even for 2004. I mean, come on. That was
There was a little bit of a budget. There was a little bit of a budget after, a little bit. Get in your pockets. But it was a moment. I mean, from the tablecloth to the girls coming in, the personalities, the energy of the girls, Chakara.
Uh-huh.
When she walked in and that bathing suit, I thought, oh my God. That's when I said she had the puppies out. Now they're 2 full-grown dogs.
Dogs. Yep, exactly.
Because they were just up and at 'em, baby.
Yeah, well, and the favorite kind of meme moment that I've seen all over the internet is, do you remember that girl? Everyone thinks it's edited. It's not. That girl who walked in and she goes, I'm sorry, like, I just really had enough and this is not what I want to do. And she turned around and walked out. There was no editing. She walked in, disqualified herself, and walked right out.
They were just saying, "It's not what I really want to do," and then she turned around and just walked out. And that stomp, it was that stomp, the clunk, 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 clunk. We looked at each other, and Tara, and we both, all three of us, just screamed.
We laughed so hard they had to actually stop down the cameras because we couldn't believe it.
Because we didn't know if it was an act or a joke, but she was serious about not being a part of this after she had waited online forever to be a part of it.
Yeah. And then the favorite moment, which I totally forgot. I literally just watched this, and I mean, I haven't watched this in years. That's the first time we met Tiffany, the famous Tiffany from the I Have Never Yelled at a Girl Like This.
Yes, because
y'all know her from Cycle 4, but she was in the casting in Cycle 3.
Right.
And that's when the famous bar fight happened. The bar fight, girls got beat up. There was a glass was going everywhere. Yes.
Yeah. And the thing about it was, and Tara really saw something in her, really saw something in this girl that would just go so far ahead.
She's stunning.
And in the end, I think this is where Tara, when you get to that, when we talk about that moment, is where it took Tara over the edge. It just took Tara over the edge.
Okay, well, there's the clean version. Okay, the real version, kids. Okay, so here's here's the spilling the tea. Casting, yes, Jay, Tara, and I are making decisions. We have our casting director, Michelle Mock, Ken Mock, no relation. Ken Mock being the executive producer. Of course, we all sit in a huddle. But here's the real tea, and you got to know this part, which is the girls come in and meet with us. They go out of the room and they walk into another room with a psychologist. They do a psych eval. Then they go from that room to another room with another psychologist. There's that evaluation. Then from that room, I believe it's to a third room. We're never privy to that because we're meeting with girls in the main room. They go through psychological evaluation. And this is how the decision is made for who gets into the house. It's like a traffic stoplight. You've got green, which is she's a go if you like her. You got yellow, which means proceed with caution. And then you got red that says, she can't be in the house. She's a risk.
Exactly.
And of course, networks everywhere do this. So this is not new, but you have to do this because I believe, I don't even know this for sure, but wasn't it something happened on was it Making the Band or something? Something happened with a contestant. So I don't know exactly what happened, but the point is they put strict regulations for reality shows.
Yes.
So these girls do go through psych eval. Yeah.
Yes. And I think when they go through that stuff, it just maybe triggers something in them once they come into the room. Either they want to go forward or they snap or they kind of lose their mind, because in the end, the network is fans. So that all you know, what Jay and I are discussing here, is that the network is responsible for everyone's safety.
Yes, absolutely.
And a crazy girl in the house is a crazy girl in the house, but a crazy girl in the house with a knife.
That's a whole other story. That's a whole other
story.
Well, and not even just crazy, like, even like, obviously, Jay, you, me, Tyra, we're not psychologists. I think we're pretty intuitive with people, but, we don't know, we're not psychologists. So they have to go through and meet with 3 different psychologists. That protects the network. So that's the big kind of spill tea moment. They have to go through psych eval. And what happened with Tiffany, I can tell you straight up, she did not pass psych eval. That's why she was not in the house season 3. It wasn't that she wasn't beautiful. It wasn't that she was, too angry. They literally said, she was risk. But to Tyra's credit, she saw something in Tiffany, which kind of goes into next cycle's meltdown, which we'll get there later. But the point is, Tyra went to bat for her and basically said, off camera, can you get help? And they, I believe, paid for her to get counseling and allowed her to come back to audition for Cycle 4. That's what happened.
Well, also, too, the thing about that, too, is just fans, so that you know, I also, just because she didn't pass, psych doesn't mean that she is crazy, mentally deranged, that kind of crazy. There was some underlying issues that she had dealing with herself and family, so forth, personal issues that sort of didn't allow her to pass school. So being on the psychic evaluation doesn't mean that she's a serial killer.
No, she had anger issues she had to deal with, and that was fine. And she was totally safe, passed psych eval to come in the house next season. We'll get to that next season. But I wanted to hit that off the top. A lot of you asked that, And yes, we make the decisions of the girls who get the green light, and there are a few yellows. Few yellows get it.
And sometimes fans, we all don't agree because there are girls that have been really upset with J. Manuel and Tyra over that didn't make the show.
Why you put me on Tyra's camp? Why you put me on Tyra's camp? I think you and I usually agree.
No, but there was a few times there were girls that I didn't like and you liked or Tyra liked that I thought should have been in. I mean, well, Farunza. I mean, Farunza.
Farunda, would you leave Farunda alone? Okay, we gotta get into these questions. You need to stop. You need to stop, Jay. You are like, you are a mess. Okay. This really is turning into, what did one of the fans call it last week? They called it ANTM Untucked. Well, Untucked. So here's the first big question that we got over and over and over again. So I'm just going to read Sion.W put, how did the girls being held at customs affect production? And everybody asked this several times. They said there's a rumor the girls didn't make it into Tokyo. And this is 100% true. The girls were not detained. Here's the tidbit you guys don't know. Yes, they were detained because they were arriving. They have a wrangler that travels with them. Remember, we're all over there already. We fly ahead of them. Mm-hmm. And then what happens is they were arrived, and then at customs, they thought that they were, what were they, Miss J?
Girls of leisure.
Ladies of the night. They thought they were hookers, okay? Yes. So basically, they said they can't come into the country. And actually, our stylist was flying with the girls because, you know, they divide us all up on planes. And they were going to detain them. So what production did is, this is the part you guys don't know. They put them back on a plane, flew them to Guam, where the girls sat in Guam for 2 days. That's the tea. Ask Eva. She could tell you what happened in Guam, or Ann, or any of those girls. And then basically what happened is from there, the girls got proper visas to enter the country. Ms. J,
yes,
is that
because
true?
normally they take all the information. They take the girls' passports and things from them. Yeah. So when they travel and once they go through there, someone help them. But production just got, I think, got a little bit scatterbrained there. But speaking of, my black ass was sitting there stuck in the airport when no one to greet me.
But you were on a different flight. You're on a different flight. But yes, you were just stuck at the airport because you called me.
Yes, for hours thinking, well, it's already they completely forgot that I was coming up. Baby, I met a Marine, baby.
Look at you picking up in the airport in Tokyo.
I met a Marine there who helped the damsel in distress.
Okay.
Get into the city because, you know, he said, I'm going in. And I'm like, I'm going in too.
Oh, okay. That's the after dark version. Okay. But that is what happened. The girls were detained.
But yes, I was mad. I was angry. I was furious. Absolutely furious that they left me there. And when I finally got into Tokyo, because what most people don't know that the airport is so far from the city, like 2 hours ride. And me, you know what is question about straight for me getting there, I was so angry and mad. And when I arrived, as a matter of fact, Jay was about to go to dinner. Where you were going to dinner, right? Because I crossed you, I think, in the lobby, and I was hotter than catfish grease.
I had to snatch you down and just take it because you were about ready to take someone's head off. You know how many questions we got? We got to get to more of these questions, but yes, that did happen. And as I said, the stylist. So in Tokyo, they don't have showrooms like in a lot of the European cities. So she traveled with trunks of clothing, but she was turned away too. But she got a black stamp in her passport. Do you remember, Miss J? They sent her back to New York. And do you know what she said? She said, goodbye. And she took her trunks with her. And the production turned to me because I produced the photo shoots. And then they said, well, guess what now? You're styling. I'm like, I'm not a stylist. Where am I going to get clothes? They had to give me money. I dragged Miss J around. And we would go to shops whenever I had a free moment, and we were buying those Harajuku outfits and wigs and stuff. That's me shopping in stores in Harajuku. That's how I styled Tokyo, and I'd never want to style shoots again. That was a nightmare. But yeah, that happened. Oh, the other big thing, because someone else asked here, did it mess up production? It did mess up production because what happened was I had produced, this was season 3, we got this big budget because we had CoverGirl on board now. So now they gave me a lot of money to produce this really elaborate commercial, which is what the girls were supposed to shoot when they landed in Tokyo. And I built that huge set. It took like a week to build. I got a famous director to shoot it, all this stuff, everything was rigged. So when the girls didn't make it, they tore it all down. They tore it all down. And then what happened to me, they said to me, well, I'm like, when the girls finally showed up, I'm like, well, do I get money to produce something? Because I paid the bills out to shoot the commercial. Then what happened? They're like, we can't give you any more money. Miss J remembers, I was hot as hell. I was like, wait a minute. I spent all this time producing the most elaborate commercial that got torn down. It was going to be epic. Then I turned to Miss J. I remember you were in my hotel room. I'm like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do? And they're like, your problem. This is very America's Next Top Model production. What's your problem? So they said, we can give you reality cameras. So let me tell you, you know the robes the girls are wearing in their commercial? The robes they're wearing were the robes from our rooms in our hotel. We put them on the girls. They sat on a patio with a reality cam, no lighting. I was wearing that denim kilt. And we just quickly did lines real quick. And then we walked the tape into judging. And they walked into judging an hour later. It was horrible. I was mortified.
But at the same time, it's the pressure of knowing that when you're that talented, you can make do with nothing.
Oh, Jay, that was it. That wasn't even talent. That looks so horrible. I'm like even embarrassed to even say what happened.
Of course, it was a bus that broke down, but we managed to get at least to have something.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we moved on from that. So that was our big disaster of cycle 3 for sure. Like the biggest disaster. Girls sent to Guam. They're lucky they weren't arrested and put in jail, but that's Lord.
And because then who was going to get them out of the jail? Not me.
I love people are writing the shade is real. Ooh, this is a hot mess. I'm like, yeah, it was. See, we're trying to pay attention to your comments down below. So thanks, guys, for watching this.
Thank you.
So Alex Washington Live wrote Yaya and diversity. And the comments on the panel, would that even fly today? And I think what he's referencing there, she always talked about wanting to be very Afrocentric and blah, blah, blah. What do you think, Ms. J?
I think that she would have a lot of support today. She would have a lot of support today. I think fans, to answer your question, she would have more support than we thought today that she would have. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think so. I think the point they were trying to make at the time, and I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth because I wasn't on those panels where those discussions came up, where I think they were trying to say, again, maybe it was lost in edit, is that as a model, any model, regardless of what race you are, you walk in to be a muse. You know what I mean? And I think she was trying to kind of, I don't know why that became such a discussion. I think you should be able to celebrate who you are. But I don't know why it got lost in edit. I think things were kind of misconstrued. What do you think?
Well, that's what I think. I mean, I think she's given props, and she chose that. Which, I mean, if you didn't want her to elaborate on how important this cloth was to her, then why in the hell did you put it there? So she was given the stuff, and that's what she went with that. So I mean, I get her. I get her being confused as to wait a minute, if you.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah, I agree. No, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. You know, and by the way, we jumped over, I'm going to one of these other questions. We jumped over casting because the questions are out of order here. But Eva, obviously the winner of Cycle 2, the gorgeous Eva. Her first line, by the way, I wrote it down because I just watched the other. Her first line in the episode is, I don't compare myself to other girls. I'm Eva. I'm no comparison to anyone else. That was her first line that she gave us when she walked in that room. And you know what? I loved it. I love she walked in the room, gave me confidence.
The confidence up front, and that's what it was. She delivered, and let's face it, she walked away with the title.
She did walk away with the title. And so Eva Slade, I think that the story that came out was because what we were not aware of was that, you know, all the girls were talking about her and she was talking about them. I think the girl who said she didn't have an eating disorder, but then, you know, Eva was calling it out and this and that. And, you know, Tyra, I think, did a great job at addressing it during Eva's first evaluation, which is, okay, so you're talking about other girls and, you know, it's clear that you're hurt. You're hurt. Who hurt you? Because often the people who are bullies were probably bullied. But here's what I got to say. Sometimes when people spot it, they got it. So I was wondering why Tyra said that, you know. Okay. Oh gosh, but anyway, so going on to the
Tara was very, very good at getting the girl to break down, to open up, to deliver what she needed her to deliver based on whatever she was going through. So Tara, if everything doesn't work, go be a psychologist.
well, okay. So the other thing which was great, we actually because this is the season where both of us got to do shoots together. The first shoot in Jamaica. Because I brought you to Jamaica, we opened, instead of the girls going through their regular move-in and everything, they moved in and then they went right to Jamaica where you
Right.
and I met them, which was so much fun at the
On
Rock House, one of my
rocks.
favorite places to stay because I chose that location. And yeah, that was a really fun shoot because you and I mean, we kikied. They don't even know behind the scene. Your favorite line, my favorite line of yours, which is in the show where you're like giving me the broken
Broken
down
down
dollar.
dollar. Just broke down
Yes.
dollar. Just all broken down. Just, broken down. Just all dilapidated and just mucked up and just broken down, child.
Yeah,
Like,
yes. By the way, I'm
it's
seeing some of
all
you.
bad.
I'm trying to keep up with some of the comments. Some people are saying don't come from Tyra. I'm not coming for Tyra. Let's just be clear. I'm not coming for Tyra at all. But we all have our things. That's all I'm saying. So
Oh
just
no, someone just said to
calm
me, I
down.
have Miss JB fee to talk. I'm speaking about things that I've experienced. I can't think about things that I didn't experience. Remember, guys and fans, I was not a judge until cycle 5. So
Hmm.
therefore, I can only speak about the things that I've experienced. Oh, trust me, there's a lot that I have to
Oh
say
yeah, there's a
about
lot coming up from there.
plenty. So
Oh, and that
just hold your horses.
and that's our other shoot. That was our other shoot that we did together, which was episode 4. I think I posted in my stories today the clip. Someone had posted the clip where you walked in and said, "Oh, Jay's very upset from last week's photo shoot. We have a special guest." And then I came around, my first time in drag. I could barely breathe or stand in those shoes. And
That's what she said her first time drag. Bitch, please, man. Drag every day. Trust.
oh,
All
wait, you
that,
see,
all that later.
you got that robotic voice again. So clearly, your invisible man just messed up your phone. See, I can hear you, but it's a little robotic. Let's see if it comes out of there because it did it a second ago and went back to normal. But okay, we can hear you. So someone said, why was Takara picked if you guys knew there wasn't a lane for her in the industry? Was it just to give exposure to plus size women? It seems like it was set up for failure. And this was from Queen Dillingham. I think that's a great question.
No, I don't think it was something fake. I think Tara was trying to push it back then. Tara was trying to push it for sure.
Absolutely.
Which I mean, that's what most women, you know, may look like. I mean, so Tara, she didn't set her for failure. Tara set her up to be visually, let's face it. See, myself got a hold of her.
Yeah.
Too much, which I know.
So, Miss J, they're saying that your voice is still robotic. I can hear you. We can log you out and log you right back in on this question. Do you want? I'll log out. Do you want to just quit your Instagram? Yeah, because your voice, your sound, audio is messed up. Just quit and then rejoin. Yeah, and then rejoin. Okay. So Miss J has left. I think what he was saying about Takara, and I kind of agree with him. With Tyra, she really had the vision of no, because there were plus size models, really great plus size models working at that time, and Tyra was trying to show that.
Technology. But anyway, as I was saying,
Saying,
I don't think that Tyra set her up for failure at all. Tyra
yes,
was trying to push the boundaries. And I think pushing boundaries wasn't put a girl up there. Just because she didn't mean she failed. I mean, like I said, Steve Mazel loved her. Italian Vogue had a hold of her. She wanted to do great things. So I think so far so good. I think it worked out pretty well for her.
yeah, I'm just reading more questions. People are saying, was it true the girls were suspected as prostitutes? Yes. Oh, here's a good question. Are Eva and Anne still friends? First of all, I love the
You
whole Eva Ann story. I'm really good friends with Anne,
scheduled
actually. Yeah, I just
find
had
that
dinner.
person.
I just had dinner with her not that long ago. We had like a 4-hour dinner. And you know what's crazy about Anne? Anne, I just like, I don't know. Anne is like, I feel like I'm kindred spirits with her. And she is just stunning. Today, she has 3 babies. You should see her body. It's banging. She's amazing. Amazing woman, actually. Such an amazing woman. Yes, yes. Next question. Let's keep on to it. Okay, why did Magdalena go home so early? Well, there was that twist at the Jamaica shoot. Remember, Jay? One of the girls was going to be voted off and not even going back to New York. They were going to be sent home. They all knew that going into the photo shoot. And Magdalena was sent home early.
I forgot. Why was she sent home? Why was she sent home early?
Well, basically the weakest photo went. Remember, we did a deliberation. Yes, you, me, Nick the photographer, and Tyra via FaceTime. Yes, we looked at all the photos.
Yes. We were just the weakest one of the bunch. She was the weakest one of the bunch.
Yeah, that was really all that it was. If you had to go back in time to season 3, sorry, this is Lil Black Wolverine asked, if you had to go back in time to season 3, would you have spoken up about Kelly's horrible treatment from week to week? Never in ANTM history have I seen such an initially strong girl get torn down to the point where the judges had convinced her she was ugly. I think that went past constructive criticism and moved straight to bullying. What are our thoughts? That's a pretty good question.
But what were the things? Remember, I wasn't a judge. This I'm speaking about from what I've seen as I watch it. Little Black Wolverine.
I think it's what she was talking about, because I think right in the first episode, Tyra asked all the girls, what is your weakness? And they all gave their weakness. Tyra talked about her forehead. Everyone talked about their thing. And so what do you think? I know Anne, so I know the story, but.
See, I don't know the full story. I just remember, the moment happening in the hallway at the apartment. What did she tell this way? Who brushed past who and knocked someone into the wall?
Well, the thing is, the whole season, it was, right in the beginning, even Eva took, Anne wanted to room with Eva, and then Eva took the spare bed into the family room area, and then Anne was all offended and in tears and saying, "Oh my God, but we're like BFFs." And Eva's like, "I'm here to compete." Blah 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 blah. And Anne was mortally wounded. Now Anne is such a lovely woman today. She was a kid then. It's just so funny. But yeah, I don't know. I think those were real emotions going back and forth. I don't think it was.
Yeah, I think you find one person. I think you latch on to in a situation where you don't know anyone. So you latch onto someone that you sort of have a quick connection with, and you try to build up that ally within the space. But then I think Anne went into with a whole different thing about the relationship and the friendship, where Eva accepted it, but Eva realized that she was out to win the competition.
Petite Ken, he loves to throw in questions every week. Petite Ken's question is, how realistic is it for women with acne to be models in the fashion industry? And he's referencing Yaya's skin. And I'd say very realistic. Pardon?
Petite Ken, go to the dermatologist. It happens.
Go to the dermatologist.
Models are traveling through different time zones. They're traveling through different, the temperature, the weather, studio lights, sunlight, the cold, the hot, whatever it is, the makeup, you're changing your makeup, different brands of makeup that you're using. Of course, the skin gets a little bit, mucked up. So therefore, it's called dermatologist and take care of your skin.
Well, I think what they're referencing is because Yaya came, and we talked about it in the casting with her. Her skin wasn't great. She gets breakouts, but she did get a routine together. Her skin has gotten better. And you know what? Yaya and Jay, you and I remember talking to you about this on the side, even into the Jamaica. We were like, Yaya is going to be somebody. Because Yaya, forget about is she stunning? She has a supreme confidence that is genuine. It's real. And first of all, she could model her ass off, but you knew because she won the acting challenges, she could act her ass off. And look what happened. She's everywhere.
And her confidence wasn't necessarily cocky in a way. It was just she had this innate, thing. Well, whether I win this or not. Of course, she was disappointed that she didn't win. But at the same time, she knew, because she said to me after that, "Oh no, it doesn't end for me here. You'll see me out there." And
we still continue to see Yaya doing huge projects, which is incredible, and we love her for that. And by the way, talking about skin, like Shalom Harlow, who I love dearly, she knows I love her, didn't always have the best skin. She struggled with her skin, and look at her. She's was the face of everything. So yes, you can have acne in our industry. And again, a lot of people saying they felt that Takara was eliminated too early. What do you think, Miss J? I mean,
yes, when I think about it, yes, I think she could have lasted a little bit longer. I think she could have. I would have to go back and think about the girls, so I thought that should have been, but this is a competition, and it's about made the best photo. You know, it's about the photo. If you're the weakest one in the link, then you got to go.
Exactly.
There could be times where I can try to convince Tyra at one point when I became a judge, maybe I think she should stay longer. That may be just a bad picture that she took that day. But Tyra would always be like, no, but you have to move forward. You have to push, you have to push, you have to push.
Well, and the thing is, you're in the industry. It is realistic. You're as good as your last campaign. But, you know, everybody evaluates everything that you do. That's just what it is. And that'll never change either.
In any business.
Yeah, yeah. So Jackie _ Sultana asks, what's the tea with Nole Marin and Janice Dickinson? Were they both fired for fighting with each other? No, that's not the reason. That was good TV.
Them fighting each other. That makes good TV. Plus a little dog sitting up there. What was those dogs? Little dog sitting up there. Empress
Minnie. Yes, no, that wasn't the case. I mean, Janice, who'd been on since, you know, season 1, you know, she made it till season 4. We could talk about the season 4 moment in season 4, because you know, the papers. We could talk about that in season 4. That's next week's juice. Okay.
Well, I think Janice was upset that she was overshadowed by Empress Minnie. And that's where the competitions and the fighting.
Talk about the time. Oh, I guess we got to spill another piece of tea. There was a time during taping where Janice, you know, kind of passed out when they were ready to roll, like her head on the table. So anyway, guys, Janice put her head down on the table, and they were like, well, we're ready to roll. And the time was, and the time they didn't have, they were like, I remember them saying, just roll on a 4-shot. And when she went, they literally rolled a section of judging with Janice's head down and the other 4 judges awake. It was the craziest thing. And then they just edited it together. Okay, Jay, you can wake up. But yes, that is really good.
Who's going home? Who's going home? Who is going home?
She'll probably come for me for that, but I love Janice. I really, really do. But that was a hilarious moment. I mean, you can't make that stuff up. I wish they did a gag reel from our show, but they never allowed that because we weren't allowed to break the 4th wall then, but we breaking it now. Okay. Did you guys humble Eva's attitude because y'all saw potential in her? And why was Yaya's attitude, which seemed nasty at times, allowed and not addressed as often as Eva's? And this is from Queen.Dillingham. I don't think Yaya was nasty ever. I worked with her for hours and hours. I think that's
but I get what she's saying. The fan is saying there was almost a bit of that way one would take her confidence, you know, a little too like, oh, she's being really bitchy about it because she was just because, you know, she spoke a few languages, she's traveled.
Highly intelligent.
Yes, she's really smart. And normally I think for the fashion business, when people look at models, they don't think that models are smart or they don't think that models are educated. And most of these girls speak more than one language. They speak several languages. They're smart girls. Just because they're doing this business where they're being told what to do, what to wear, how to look, doesn't mean that they're not smart girls. And I just think that maybe her little bit of came off as her being really bitchy and nasty and attitude, but I just think it was just her being confident, very like, you're not going to break this down. You know, me being me and doing me has nothing to do with the attitude that you think I'm giving back. If I'm making sense.
You're making sense. You're making sense. And I'm going to address what people are saying down below. 2 things. You're getting lots of shout outs for your t-shirt. The kids they are not lost on the shade of this t-shirt. Anna Winter and Andre Leon Talley. Miss J, the Queen of Shade, is giving us the best shirt because y'all know Andre's book, In the Chiffon Trenches, is coming out in September. Okay, but the other thing people are writing there, and I have questions right here. They're side by side, which is how did Anne make it so far in the competition with bad photo after bad photo and being in the bottom 2 so many times, and they kept her through to the end. So they want to know why. And people are saying, is it a rumor that Ford wanted her, so they forced the competition to keep her around.
Answer to number one, fans. I don't know. I was not judging there. I'm not a part of that process, so that I can answer that question. And I don't know if Ford wanted her, so I can answer that question either. I would love to know that. So maybe Jay or somebody else can.
I don't know. Ford, the modeling agencies, I can tell you for a fact, whether it was IMG or whoever was involved, never had, could never put that kind of pressure on the show. They would float who they liked, because if they would sit on the judging panel, remember when Ivan Bart came on and they would give their opinion, but they never controlled it. I think what I think happened is there was a lot of potential with Anne, and granted, I know you're not supposed to judge potential, but I was on those panels. But this leads right into this other question, which someone basically just asked, how is it that, because sometimes, you know, the cameras show the monitors, so they say, we can see there are better photos, then why is there that photo in judging? So, and because meaning there's supposed to be the best photo in judging. And actually we got 3 questions to that effect. So I'm going to address it from my standpoint. So as a creative director, you know, I'd hire the photographers, the talent, create the shoot, we do the shoot. What I had to do for Tyra and the show was then always narrow it down to the top 4 best photos per girl. And then what I would always do is put a heart on what I think is the best out of the 4, and I hand it off to Tyra. And I would often just be on, if I wasn't with her, I would be on the phone with her and we'd talk through the shoot. Now, just as many of you, I was often very surprised when we got to judging and then there's a photo that's not from the top 4 that I chose, which I thought were the best. So ultimately, I don't know if it was Tyra, production, or who, or what, or why, for drama or for whatever, another photo was selected. Maybe Nigel can chime in at the bottom, and he was more privy to conversations I was not. But that's how it went through. So someone just asked, didn't Tyra go through all the photos? You guys got to understand, sometimes when I shoot these girls, I shoot 60, 70 frames. So I star rate them from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tyra would go through the 5-star ratings, 4 and 3. If she got to the 3-star ratings, there's no reason for her to go through a 2-star or 1-star. There's no point. And she doesn't have the time. But she would definitely look at the 4 that I put forward, and then decisions were made. Many times, my hearted photo is the one that went forward, and sometimes there were other ones. So.
Spill it, Nigel. Tell the team, Nigel. Talk about it, Nigel. I see someone says, spill it, Nigel. Yeah, Nigel.
Oh, Nigel left the chat. Okay, well, someone DM Nigel. Tell him to jump back in, and he can answer it. So did Amanda lose her eyesight? Remember Amanda? We made her white blonde with the light blue eyes, who was legally blind when the show started. I don't know if she eventually lost her eyesight. She talked about it, but we should look into that. I don't know.
And I couldn't see that far, you know, during that moment if she did. And so I don't know. I'm glad you asked the question. Maybe I should try to follow her on social media and ask her if, you know, if she can read my text, if she gets my...
There are so many questions here about Takara, Yaya, they were eliminated too early. Do you think they were treated unfairly because of their race and their size? That comes from real... There's so many people here writing this.
No, they were not eliminated because of their race, and they were not eliminated because of their size. Absolutely not. That's that's not grounds for elimination, because if that was the case, they wouldn't be on the show. They would never pass go. The green light, when Jay talked about, green, yellow, and red. If it was a racist thing or a size thing, they wouldn't even pass.
Oh no, someone wrote down there, yes, she did lose her eyesight officially. People are saying they found out she did lose her eyesight. Oh, that is so sad to hear. The thing that I feel is amazing about Amanda is that she was so wise for her age. When she told the girl, she's like, listen, don't cry for me. Yeah. I've had a great life. I've seen my son smile. Oh my God. I even remember that line when she says, I've seen my son smile already. You know, she knew how to be present with her joy and her gratitude and
to take everything in, to visualize everything, because she knew that down the road that she would lose her sight. So she was able to see, capture, and just preserve all the beauty that she could visually see throughout her life, that she could be able to share with her son or future kids, if she had more than one, that she could share with them the things that I saw, the things that I experienced, you know, before losing my sight. So she was able to see the beauty before, you know, she's losing her sight.
Yeah, it's amazing. By the way, a lot of people, that was great, Jay. A lot of people also writing down below, oh my God, there's just like, beautiful eyes, Amanda, all this. Look, there's Sophie from our British invasion cycle. We're going to get to your cycle, well, not soon, but Sophie, we'll remind you when we're doing that cycle.
Mm-hmm.
that was a Jay. That cycle. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with all the questions. It's so hard. Someone is asking again, this is Beauty Bell 1996. Did Janice and Tyra not get along? That's a little more for a cycle 4 chat. I'd say that's next week's chat. There was friction, but I'm not gonna lie. Okay, because everyone sugarcoated it forever. And people say the stuff that Janice has said about Tyra is awful. I think Janice has gone hard at Tyra in the press. I really do. But there was friction, and I cannot lie and say that behind the scenes there wasn't kind of mutual back and forth. But we can. I do think Janice though was a bit much, and I think that grated on someone's nerves.
A bit.
Okay, we can dive into some season 1 tea about right on this question. So do you remember season 1, Tyra shot those black and white photos of the girls. I think it was, she shot Shannon, she shot obviously Adrian, and one other girl, I can't remember who it was. There were 3 girls left. Tyra did those photos in cycle 1. And then when we brought them into judging, because people didn't know season 1, there was no budget. Like I was the person working the computer who threw the photos up on the screen. Oh my God. Anyway, when we put the photos up, I was doing a quick test before we started rolling. And this is what Janice said. Janice was like, okay, so Tyra's on the side getting her, like literally talking to one of the producers, whatever. And literally, this is what she said. This is Janice all loud. Who shot these photos? They're horrible. Blah, 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 blah. Not the thing to say when your boss shot the photos. And I thought the photos were beautiful, actually, to be quite honest. So, but Janice was, who knows? I don't know. But yeah, so friction started in season 1, kids. But yeah, a lot of Yaya questions about the diversity. People felt really, really ruffled by how she was treated in the season. The way I say it, look, what doesn't take you down makes you stronger. Yaya is a working actress, a stunning woman, confident, educated, smart. I think Yaya won. How about that?
Because let's face it.
Yep.
Yaya, Eva's working too.
Of course, Eva's working. Anne's working. By the way, Anne is an amazing model. Right. So she gave blank photos in the beginning. Who's perfect when they start?
Again, I wasn't with that judging panel with Yaya. I can only, see and remember. Also, 2 fans, by the way, just so that you know, as I was not on those first 4 judging panels, I never knew who won until the show aired.
Oh, that's a lie. Oh, you're such a liar. Oh,
I never knew who won. They would never tell me who won.
Production would never tell you. And then you'd call my room and you'd say, so, did we have a little short girl win or do we have a little tall girl win?
I would try to pry it out of you. I would try to pry it out of you, boo-boo. I was never told who won the show. Bitch, you know that. I would try to pry it out of you.
Okay. Miss Jace, okay, I'm going to call her out. You know I told you. I always told you. I would try to pry it out of her. Yeah, he pried out, it would come out, and then we'd go from there. So
what I'm saying, generally, I was never told. I was never told production
production never told you. Yeah, they kept it pretty secret. But yeah, I would always have to fill Miss J in always. So,
but you would kind of mix up and leave me slightly confused.
Confused. Yes, I would. By the way, a lot of people, another person asked, did Cycle 3 put ANTM on the map? ANTM got the huge buzz. People didn't expect it to do what it did in season 1. Season 2, people were like, oh, this is a big show. Season 3 blew the fuck up.
For the fan who answered that question, I agree. I think Cycle 3 put it on the map because I remember with Eva 1, I could hear the kids throughout the city.
Yeah.
Scream.
Yeah.
So I think cycle 3 did put ANTM on the map for
And
sure.
you know, it's so hard to pick a favorite cycle, but I have to say by then, I know, I mean, even with the Tokyo disasters, which I mean, literally, I mean, drove me crazy having to redo that shoot and all that. I don't know. It was still one of the most fun cycles in a weird way, just because of everything that was going down. I mean, all the cycles are fun, but
Can you
that one,
guys hear me? Am I robot still?
no, I
Okay.
can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. But that was, I remember Eva was so upset because the walk for the final fashion show had to be very Japanese.
Japanese runway.
That just simple, no fuss, and she hated it. But yes, she added her extra interest. She added her extra, which I thought was great.
Yes.
She took the elements and made it work for her, which I thought was great.
I remember your runway teach, Miss J. You were like, because, and this is not unrealistic, because how many would like think of Dior Couture? You're like skinny pencil skirts. You can only like move your feet this much, and you were trying to tell the girls you're gonna have to do this look, this walk.
Yeah, and the end of time, really, all of a sudden, there it was. You know, having to do that just movement, and if you're constricted, it's how do you move the body? How do you shift the body? How do you bring it all into the right rhythm? And if the music is not one with the beat, you have to create the beat in your head in order to get the right rhythm. So you have to walk sometimes against the music in order to get it right.
Yeah, exactly.
Set, because you know, Eva was all about, you know, getting out there, baby, and stomping.
And she was like, "What?"
I remember she was so disappointed that day. So disappointed that day.
It was fun. It was really fun. That was one of the things that I loved the most about the show, to be honest with you guys. You know, production just left me to produce all the runway shows. I got a budget. I had to go hire my own team and do it. But that was the thing where I felt like I got to collaborate with you behind the scenes so much, because you'd sit in my room and I'm like, okay, this is my budget. I'm going to do this kind of set. What can I do with the runway this way? And then I'd even drag you to my location scouts, because that's what I did on my days off.
Yes.
I would drag Miss J.
It was the shopping, I think, that wore me out. The shopping that time with $25 in your pocket, $5 on each girl. That was left.
In Tokyo. Yeah. I forget the last shoot. Yeah. Oh, and that's another thing people kept asking me about, was the cover girl, because this was the first cover girl shoot. And I came up with the concept of making it look like they're laying in a little pond of water. And it was difficult because I had to work directly with CoverGirl to kind of create the shoot. This is their first time they were part of our show. And they stayed with our show for so long, which was great. But yeah, that's fun. Someone's asking about Cassie in the here and on the side. Did she go back to becoming a stripper? I don't know. Do y'all know? Write down if anyone knows what happened to Cassie.
Baby, honey, like I said in the episode, baby, that's the All-American girl, you know, her job. Yes.
Yeah, you said exactly. I remember that.
Yes.
You're like, that's the All-American job.
That's the All-American job, honey.
Paper.
Make it rain, baby. Make it rain.
Abby_Danielle12 said, what are your thoughts about Eva being portrayed, I guess it meant to say, as a bully? And I feel like the TV producers today would edit things to make the winner look flawless. Actually, they wouldn't edit a winner to look flawless, because the thing you got to remember when you're looking at like 13 episodes, they got to see an arc anyway. And I think what was great. Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
The thing is, you're getting to see the girl for who she is, for the most part. You can tell a girl if a girl is really pretending and acting to be just for TV's sake. I think showing how Eva is as a person, but how she can turn it on and turn it off. I don't know if she was a bully necessarily, other than just being the girl who was out. It was a competition. I think it was a competition, and I think she just did whatever she had to do in order to win.
Yeah, you do. And also the editors have to edit an arc. If someone's flawless in the beginning, are you going to root for them? Because even look at how social media works. You know, we root for the underdog. And then the people that look all fabulous, the haters come for. You know, that people like, you know, run for Kim Kardashian because she's all done and face tuned and blah, 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 blah. But the underdog, we root for the underdog. So that's kind of like an editing trick. But I think Eva really did go through an emotional journey, and you know, she also developed her skill. She deserved to win. You know,
Tyra has this thing where she can get a girl to crack. She can get a girl to crack by just asking a question that she knows that is deeply rooted, that she can sense. Also, too, guys, what's happening at home. Again, we're not there in the house to know what's happening in the house because we're not there with them. Yeah. These conversations that they're having, that production may, you know, by the way, this was happening with so and so and so, that can be brought up, and I'll be sitting there looking like, huh? That, because I'm just learning about it because you're just speaking about it, but I was not there when it happened.
And I learned about a lot of what was going on because photo shoots were about 15 hours, 14 hours sometimes. And so those kind of fights would come into the photo shoot arena. So I would overhear, I'd sometimes be a part of it. Sometimes they wouldn't even use that in the edit, but that's how I found out most things because I spent so much time with the girls.
Time with them, and they would come from the house from the night before. They come onto your set that morning and last all day. And that was always great tension. And with the cameras capturing every moment, it's all down to that edit. It's all down to that edit, baby.
Yeah, and if you guys got to think of how many hours are shot and they edit down to 41 minutes and 28 seconds, it's not easy. I can tell you that.
And we would shoot, would be, what, 6 weeks, 6, 7 weeks, I remember. It would be a long time.
Well, no, it depends. Well, and that cycle, especially with the whole stop down in Tokyo and the girls were sent back to Guam, we were a good 8.5 weeks in production for that, to shoot it. Yeah, just to shoot it. More questions. It says, was Takara the mom of the house and on set? What was the house life like? And I don't know because we weren't really there. We saw the house drama when the episode aired, really.
Yes. Well, later on, as I said, when I became a judge, I would hear more what's happening with the girls at home because Tyra would discuss it on set. Yes, but we were never there in the house, never.
And so this is Sydney or Sidnus 99 asks, as far as makeovers, I think week goes, which were your favorites? I guess that's tricky from that cycle. I loved Eva's makeover, which is amazing because it's kind of her look today. Eva's done everything, but she works now the honey blonde. But I'll tell you this much, when we did makeovers, Eva did not want to bleach her hair. She'd never put hair color in her hair. She'd always been brunette. But of course she became hooked from then on, but she did not want to color her hair.
Oh, you know, when they would come up in there with those pictures for those girls, I could feel those girls just shiver with the fear. Well, I can't wait till we get into the stuff further on in the season when I was at that makeover chapter. Girls just started falling out. And I looked at the floor. And I remember Miss Isis goes like this. She said, Miss J. Hey, baby, I love it. There was that. She walked out that sink, and the fear of the hair just, oh, baby, see, I'm telling this. Oh, as we get on fans further into the show, so as the show gets real seasoned, baby.
Yes.
There's a lot more that I have to talk about. And until then, baby, I can't say what I don't know.
Exactly. Well, you know what? I mean, it's so hard to even keep up with most of these questions. I know we've been on for an hour. I think, Jay, you nailed it right there with, this was a pretty juicy Jay's chat. This is definitely a good ANTM Untucked Jay's hashtag Jay's chat. I think at the end of the day, yes, every season as we go on, every Friday at noon, you thought today was juicy with girls being flown to Guam and blah, 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 blah. Next season is the season where we go to South Africa. Yeah.
The girl's skin breaking out. The girl with the skin disease she had. The girl fainting right there, passing out. Yeah. The fight. The Tyra stand up.
Oh, next week is the Tyra meltdown. Oh my God, I totally forgot. Yes, the Tyra meltdown.
The Tyra meltdown, baby. It's a moment.
Let's end this with a thought for y'all to leave questions about. You know, I'd really love to hear what you guys think, and we'll answer some questions right now. What do you guys all think about that meltdown? Maybe we'll save it for next week because, you know, that is the edited version.
Yes.
That's the edited version.
Girl,
So
this
we can
is
talk next
called
week.
Tara Meltdown Realness. ANTM Realness.
Realness.
That's exactly what that was. For show.
For show. And so next week on Cycle 4's Jay's chat, we get to talk about Cycle 4 with the infamous meltdown. Do you guys, any last questions right there in the bottom of the screen? We can answer you guys real quick. Is there anything? Did you all, something that was Tiffany's? Oh, I did not read Tiffany's article on BuzzFeed. I've heard about it, but maybe that's something that we address next week, because Tiffany gave an article after Tiffany, the girl Tyra revealed that.
I'm thinking when?
Oh no, it's on BuzzFeed. Yeah, there's an article post her leaving the show.
Okay,
we can do our research for next week. So I'm glad you guys are loving this. I'm seeing all your comments. You're saying, I'm loving this, blah, blah, blah. So yes.
I wish we could answer a whole lot more of your questions, but there's not enough time to answer the questions. And we have to figure out how we can do this where we can really pay attention to all those questions that are coming up that we can read, because it's a process, baby. It's a process to get all the information in. But as I tell you guys, the more you tune in, the more tea you get.
You're going to get lots of tea. And wait, somebody just said, what happened with Guam? I'm going to say, we're going to get the YouTube up. We'll announce it. We'll put it on our things. But in the meantime, you can go to my Facebook, J Manuel Official. This chat will be up there by tomorrow. You can watch it again. You can also rewatch it again on IG for the next 24 hours. So you can find out what happened in Guam. Basically, the girls were sent back from Tokyo and not allowed in the country. But you can get the full story when you rewatch. Miss J, this was fun. He's the T. You better get ready for next week, because you know next week's chat. You know, because I just remember what we get to talk about.
Oh, I'm telling the further guys and girls, fans alike, the more we get into the seasons, the more tea is to be
poured. Thank you, Jay.
Bye.
I'll see you next
guys.
Friday.
Everybody have a safe week. Remember, wash your hands.
20 seconds.
Wear the mask. Go out when necessary. We will get through this. Okay?
Yes, we will.
Thank you.
Bye. See you, Jay.